Hello and welcome to the Pick Mix podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you find yourself tuning in to today's episode. Now, for returning listeners, I think we have to address the elephant in the room first. If you notice, it has been a very, very long time since I sat down and recorded one of these. And there's no excuse, I kind of just fell out of it for a while. School kind of took over for a bit, but now I feel like I'm in a spot where I can come back and talk about the movies and the music that I enjoy. So today's episode, I want to talk about a new release that genuinely it took me away to another land. The words can't describe how shocked I was listening to this the first time around. My jaw was literally just on my lap the entire time. And that album is Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. Now, Lil Yachty does not have the best reputation in rap music or music as a whole. I personally have always seen him as a hit or miss artist. He has those few fun songs that you remember from like 2016 summer that you'd play with your friends. But other than that, Lil Yachty has never really made a concise, cohesive, solid album that you'd recommend to someone. And I'm really blown away with his efforts here. It's genuinely amazed me. So Let's Start Here is his 5th studio album, and personally I think it is his best album by a long shot, but it has been projected to be his worst performing first week sales. I think it's projecting around like 19 to 24k. And I mean, it kind of sucks when an artist drops arguably their magnum opus and it performs kind of poorly, but quantity doesn't equal quality. So sales personally don't mean to me, but it is what it is. So I know we're very early into 2023, so calling Let's Start Here an album of the year contender might be an outlandish take for now, but I genuinely think by the time December comes and we've seen all these great drops from all these rumoured artists such as Tyler the Creator and whatnot, Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty will still be shining and standing out. And I don't think I've ever had a first listen to an album like this, not in a long time. No album has genuinely left me smiling so much. I felt like I was going insane. I was questioning myself, like, am I really listening to a good Lil Yachty album, let alone a great Lil Yachty album right now? It's definitely one of the biggest musical turnarounds that I've ever seen. I'd say maybe it's comparable to Childish Gambino with his whole route into neo-soul and whatnot with Awaken My Love. But then again, Childish Gambino was already levels above what Lil Yachty had been achieving with his previous releases. So maybe it's not a fair comparison, but this new direction for Lil Yachty is amazing, and I do hope that he sticks with this direction. It's not just a one-off, because it shows that when you use your album budgets and put it into some absolutely amazing production, and you can really tell he put his heart into this, and I think that's what I love so much about it. There's passion, there's beauty, there's genuinely art in a Lil Yachty album. Just saying it out loud over and over again, I'm still struggling to process that there is art in a Lil Yachty album, because you won't catch me listening to any other Lil Yachty album, respectfully. This time around, it's a complete reinvention. He's brought back the falsetto vibrato that he used in the famous meme song Poland, which unironically is kind of a great song. It's a bit stupid, it's a bit goofy, it's more on the wacky side, but it's a good song. I've seen a lot of mixed reception online at the moment. People are saying the whole reason this project is good is because of the stellar production. But I think people are really refusing to acknowledge that Lil Yachty's vocals are like great. Maybe not conventionally or objectively great, but how he uses his voice and how he incorporates that into these psychedelic rock beats, it's just really great. Obviously he's not like a powerhouse singer, he's not singing like Frank Ocean or The Weeknd, but he knows how to use his voice, and I think that's very important when it comes to music, because I personally have friends who they're not like a crazy singer, but it's more that they know how to use their voice to achieve their vision. And I just think that's really powerful. And what I love about this reinvention is that although it kind of goes away from rap and more into this neo-psychedelic rock, neo-soul kind of, I've seen some people tag it. I don't want to I don't want to put that on it because I'm not too sure. But this reinvention, he's still got his charisma and his kind of fun energy. I just find myself smiling randomly at a funny, kind of charismatic one-liner. So it's nice to see that whilst he's reinvented himself as an artist, he still has a personality that is recognizable throughout his entire discography. So going back to the production side of things, we have some big names on here such as Magdalena Bay. I'm pretty sure Yachty has done a collaboration with them before, I want to say. I'm not too sure. But we have Mac DeMarco, which was really surprising. And it was really surprising to see that Mac DeMarco and Alex G had writers credits on here. So that was nice. The production is insane. I absolutely loved it. It's colourful, it's vibrant, it is everything you could ever ask for. Another joy that I got out of this album were the hidden features, such as Tizo Touchdown, Daniel Caesar, and the repeat appearances from Diana Gordon, who has really good chemistry with Yachty, surprisingly. I really do enjoy when an artist uses hidden features, that element of surprise, and then when you recognize the artist, you kind of get a kick from that as well as the music. So that's just like a fun kind of thing that I personally like. But yeah, I didn't want to make a stupidly long episode. I kind of just wanted to throw my thoughts out on this album, talk to myself for a bit as usual. I have high hopes for Lil Yachty's future. If he sticks in this lane, or if he somehow manages to reinvent himself again, I think that will be very interesting. But I think it's really unlikely, since Let's Start Here was arguably a really risky move for him, because he has reinvented himself almost entirely. And when you've got that kind of preconceived audience, and then you want to delve into this new direction for your music, you kind of have that risk of losing your pre-sold fans. It's a brave move from Lil Yachty, but nevertheless, it's probably the smartest move he's made in his entire career. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this album ends up being received in a year, in 5 years, and how it ages. I think it will age really well, and we're going to look back at this and it's going to be one of the funniest releases ever. Because who expected Lil Yachty to delve into psychedelic rock, realistically? But no, I'm really happy with this album. It's great. If you haven't listened, then you should go listen already. If you're watching on YouTube, then the links to the albums that I've talked about today will be down in the description. But yeah, hopefully I'm going to be starting more podcast episodes where I can just talk about a movie I've watched, an album I've listened to. I'm hoping to get a tier list out very soon. But yeah, if you got this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my rambles. If you do want to keep up to date with the podcast, we are at PicMix Podcast on all platforms. But until next time, goodbye.